Hey, what's up? It's ToddFox here on the Halos in the Infield weekly podcast. It's Wednesday morning. We're going to talk about the Angels losing, unfortunately, to Tampa. We're going to talk about all the twists and turns, the bad commentary, everything that was said in the post game last night that will be talked about today, this morning, as we get ready for Thursday's game, which will be the getaway, and also today's game, which is the Wednesday game, which will start at 3:40 with Reed Detmers on the mound. But first, hey, you are now listening or watching the Halos in the Infield podcast, sponsored in part by Noble L Works over on 1621 South Sinclair, where you can get discounts by just mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield, drink discounts on us, baby. And also by 714 Tickets, 714 Tickets. The price you see is the price you get, and you also get 10% additionally off in the Apply Now code once you order your tickets just by mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Now enjoy the show. Now, did you enjoy the show last night? Last night's game was a humdinger. It was a kick in the balls. The Angels take the loss and take one on the chin in a game they should have won many times over, as they lose 7-6 in 13 innings. It's been a very long time since the Angels have played in extra innings a game that long. And the Angels had their opportunities in this game, but unfortunately, like we've been saying on the post game, if you can't execute with runners in scoring position, you don't deserve to win. And they had their opportunities in extra innings, which the runners in scoring position technically shouldn't have counted, because they got enough runs for Soriano, because in the end, Soriano's start gets lost in the shuffle. There's so much that happened in the second half of that game and into extra innings to where we forgot the fact that Soriano gave us his best start so far as an Angel, stretched out to 5 innings. We'll go over his numbers right here. I think the only thing you can knock on him is that he had the 5 walks. But again, he's given you a rookie-like start that Reed Detmers had many a times, like Canning had many a times, like Sandoval had many of times, coming out that first year where, yeah, you put up good numbers or you put up zeros, but you're walking too many guys. And so we'll take the good with the bad. He went, like I said, he went 5 innings, 1 run allowed, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts, 90 pitches, 48 of which were strikes. But again, the 1 run coming in wasn't that bad. They were able to get a double play. The run scored on the double play, or I think on the what is it called? The runner getting the fielder's choice, let's just say. But the bullpen once again showed up pretty good. They had some struggles late in the game, as we'll talk about. But, you know, you had Moore, Strickland, and Garcia give you good outings. Cisnero, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Estevez, and we'll talk about Fulmer, the back half of that bullpen. The Rays went through a bunch of pitchers in this game, and they had 13 innings pitched by their team tonight, 6 innings by Cavill or Seville, whatever you want to call him, Cialis. But the other guys did a decent job as well. The problem is, when runners in scoring position, yes, they left 10 men on, but they went 4 for 18. And those 4 hits were huge. We got our only 1 for 9 was what's his name? Neto's in the 13th, his RBI single through the hole to score the run. Now, as we talk about this game stayed scoreless till the 4th inning, when a guy who desperately needed a hit, not just a home run, but he needed a hit. And he came out there and he hit a 2-run homer, and that was Mickey Moniak. Mickey Moniak got the job done. It was 2-0 Angels. And then before you can, take that halo off that helmet, that the home run celebration that they had, right away, our boy Logan O'Hoppe hits a blast, and it's 3-0. And you're feeling pretty good for the kid, but you're still thinking in the back of your mind, can he give you 5 innings? Can he get you to that 5th inning to where he can qualify for that win? And he did. He qualified for that win. He got to the 5th inning. He allowed the run in the 4th inning. But after that, again, the 1 hit, the 1 run, that was all it was. And it stayed 3-1 until the 9th inning. You had good bullpen pitching. You really did. Surprising by Garcia. And so when it got to the 9th inning and Estevez is in there, and again, they had opportunities. The Angels kept pressing. And although they had a lot of zeros, they were pressing for the most part, getting some guys trying to work some walks, but the pitching for Tampa Bay was equally impressive. And you got it to the 9th inning, and Estevez got the first 2 outs rather easily, but then the error, and then you had the bleeder up the middle, and then a guy that we gave the Stamos Award to on the post game last night, Caballeros. It's just like the Boston series. Boston, again, the Red Sox had Tyler O'Neill kill us. They had Yamamoto kill us. And they had Casey kill us. It was those three guys in the lineup that were just killing us. We couldn't get them out. Well, they came up in clutch situations. Every time they needed a hit, they got it. And we lost 4 or 6. So, again, an opportunity to also beat Tampa here in Anaheim. Caballeros came through in game 2 and game 3, and they got those W's. They got he got the John Stamos Award for best player on the field, both games. And then it turned into that in this series because, again, we got game 1 just like we did at home. And then a game we should have won like we should have won at home turned into the same kind of like buttercup game we lost. And it was very frustrating because the Angels came out there and gave it their all. The Caballeros put his bat on the ball, put the barrel on it, and it went down the line for a seeing eye triple. And him scoring those 2 runs, the Angels were lucky to send it to the freaking 10th inning. And in the 10th inning, I killed him on the postgame show, but Wayne Randazzo, our fearless leader on the Bally Sports telecast, came out and said, I don't see the use in a bunt, which is something as Angel fans we've been screaming at for years that the Angels don't do. So the fact that they were moving runners over and getting that chance to score, I could see it from both sides. You want to get that run in, but also when you're the road team, you play for getting the multiple run inning. But then again, how many times have we watched this team not score even the gift run that's on second base? So for me, them getting that bunt down, even though people were like, that's O'Hoppe, why are you bunting him right there? He got it down, and there's a chance that you could throw that runner out at first base. But there's also a chance you can not throw him out, throw wide like Cisneros did later, or the runner beats it out because the bunt's that good. But if you were to go by Wayne Randazzo, when later in the game, they had a sacrifice which moved Renifo to third because it was a deep enough fly ball to center field. There's 100 times out of 100 they make that catch. At least with a bunt, you're making the infield work, and there's that chance of the error. There's a chance of that beating out the throw. And he was totally fine with that sacrifice fly, saying, and I quote, at least he put the bat on the ball. Well, what do you think you do with a bunt, genius? So it was one of those things where I was yelling at the TV. I was having an argument with my TV because I was upset the terrible commentary, especially with the fact that, hey, I could see, and it's not like they try to bunt every time, every inning. Again, they had 4 extra innings to get that winning run or runs in, and 2 of which they did, and even actually 3 of which they did, and they still didn't win the game because they only got 1 run across because they were bad breaks happened in the 10th inning. Cisneros should have thrown to third, had the guy in a pickle. Instead, he double pump fake, threw to first, threw it away. The run scored. They avoided losing the game there. They got the lead in the 11th, got that run in, only to have an opportunity to blow it open and not do it, not get any additional runs. Then Tampa scored in the 11th. The Angels put up a 0. They got Tampa Bay to put up a 0. And then Neto came through with the only runners in scoring position all night, getting that single to score the run in. You thought, okay, that's good, but I'd like to have one more to tag on to feel better. They couldn't get it done. Bottom of the inning, Fulmer, after pitching a fabulous 11th inning, kind of lost his mojo a little bit, especially after that double down the line, which he had the hitter, dead to right, but he left one up a cookie. And again, they come through with a big hit. And that's what Tampa does. And they got the winning run later on to win 7-6. And the Angels, for all their good, had some bad out there. Adele nearly cost them the game by running into Hicks, not listening to his get away. I got it. And then you had some, Shonawell shit the bed again with a bases loaded. You had Trout do the same thing. Ward was like 0 for 5. But he had to sacrifice RBI. If that ball goes 3 more feet, maybe up the wall, it's a grand slam, or it bounces off the wall, the whole game changes. And then you had, Rendon go 0 for 5. Adele, not really, like I said, had a good game. Renifo really didn't have a good game, although he scored a run because he was left on at second. He couldn't come through in the clutch. So there was just a lot, of bad out there. And you had guys like Siri, who should have got the Nacho Night Award, but he had 4 strikeouts. So tough game all in all for the Angels to lose. And, again, we go into this game tomorrow where the momentum is clearly in front of Tampa. And the Angels, so far with a record, is 8-9. They're a half game out of first place. Houston sitting at 6-12, only 3 games out. I mean, this division's off to a pretty bad start, to start the season, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm telling you, this is how this division might shake out for another month or two till these teams start to find their way. I'm not going to put, I'll shovel dirt on Oakland, even though they've been winning lately at 7-10, but I'm not going to do that on Seattle. I think they have more in the tank. I obviously think Texas is off to a slow start. They're going to get Scherzer back at some point. They got Mike Lorenzen, a pitcher we should have gotten back here in Anaheim, who wanted to play here, but no, we weren't offering him. So he took the job in Detroit last year, takes a job in Texas this year, and we have to now face him. His first start for Texas, Mike Lorenzen, former Angel fan growing up, he throws a shutout. Go figure. Houston's not going to play this bad all year. I think that they're playing below the radar, and they're going to just pop up and play really good. So that'll put us to tomorrow's pitching matchup. It'll be Lytle for the Tampa Bay Rays, who's 1-0, pitched pretty good against the Angels at Anaheim. He's going to be faced by Reed Detmers, who's 3-0, and for the 4th time as for this season, we have to ask Detmers to get us back in the win column. He has to stop a losing streak, or he has to just get us back in the win column. So tough for him, tough for us all around. We have to depend on him, and he's turned into our ace so far early on. A lot of people are, optimistic that he's our ace. Some people feel that he already is our ace. He stepped up, but I'm kind of in the middle because I got to see him do this more often. I got to see him do this more starts, but hey, it is what it is. Let's go over Lytle's numbers here so far in the first couple games of the season. Check out what he's done for the Rays as Lytle will go. He's a right-handed pitcher, so it'll be righty-lefty tomorrow. So far this season, in 15 innings pitched, he's given up 15 hits. He's allowed 5 walks, but no home runs. 2 earned runs, so he's pitching to a 1.17 ERA. He's 1-0 in 3 starts, so he's gotten a couple tough luck, no decisions. I think he had one against us. He didn't pick up the win against us. And then, again, Reed Detmers is 3-0. If you look at his stats are pretty good. In 17 innings pitched, he's allowed only 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned, no home runs, 6 walks, and he's pitching to an ERA of 1.4. Again, 3 starts, 3 Ws. We'll take that every day. This is the best start to his career. The most he's ever won in a season as far as games is 7. So he's already almost halfway there. So that's pretty impressive for him. So the Angels will have that start to go on tomorrow or today, and then they'll go tomorrow with Griffin Canning, which is very, very sus to me. His fastball's flat. We talked about it on the last podcast on Sunday. His changeup, his off-speed pitches, he's got no movement on it right now. He's pitching to lower velocity. He's got a 9.88 ERA. He's 0-2, 21 hits in 13.2 innings pitched. He's allowed 5 home runs already. 5 home runs, and I witnessed all of them. So especially the 3 in Anaheim. That was terrible. He'll be opposed on Thursday by Peput, Ryan Peput. Whatever you say his name. His record, he's a right-hander as well. He's 1-2 out the gates in 3 starts. He's allowed 12 hits in 16 innings pitched, 10 runs, all 10 allowed, 3 home runs, 5 walks. He's pitching to an ERA of 5.40. Youngster from the Tampa Bay organization, set and slated to be a good pitcher for their organization, but so far struggling out the gate. So the Angels got some work to do, because after this, they're going to go to an unfamiliar place, which is Cincinnati. And Cincinnati and the Angels will play for, I believe, only the second time in the last, or they played last year. But before that, they hadn't played in 4 years prior to that. And so I don't think there's anybody but Trout that has any kind of experience there in freaking Cincinnati. But they're going to face, let's see, who are they going to face here in game 1 on Friday? I want to look into this real quick. Nick Lodolo. They're going to face him. He's a lefty. Then they're going to have Graham Ashcroft pitching the game 2. So again, these are household names by the Reds. And then they're going to have Frankie Montas, who's probably their best pitcher right there. He's going to be pitching. So you got those three pitching for the Reds, and then you're going to have opposed Tyler Anderson, Sandoval, and Soriano again before they come home to play Baltimore. So we still got 5 games on the road, including today's game with Reed Detmers. And hopefully the Angels can turn it around and maybe win a couple of these games. Because, I mean, look, before the road trip started, a lot of Halo honks were like, hey, 7-3, we'll take that. 7-3, we'll take that. They were honking their honks, and they wanted the Angels to get to that to have a really, really good road trip. They were like, but, yes, but I think right now we will take a 6-4. I don't see that happening, but we'll take a 5-5. Unless they rip off some wins right here. But again, it gives you no luck, or not no luck, but it gives you no optimism after losing a game like this. I mean, there was just too many mishaps late in the game where they needed that's where the inexperience comes in. We do see the changing culture for Ron Washington and the Angels. We do see that they're making progress into being a better, more consistent team. But just in the end, you just can't have blunders like that if you're going to want to go far. So I do believe there's things that this team can focus on and get better moving forward. And adding a piece or two down the stretch here, some veterans that can come in would help too. It's just Will already open up his pockets. He seems to just want to take this one on the chin and not spend anything this year. So it might be one of those things where you're asking Ron to make chicken soup out of chicken, you know what? And if he can do that, it'll show how valuable he is. But there's still a lot of work to do, and I think we're going to have these losses. I'm just saying, I love the competitiveness of this team. I like the fact that the fundamentals are coming back around, stuff that we never had with Numbnuts Nevin or Smokin' Joe or Brad Asmus. So hopefully the Angels can get back on track, and the fundamentals will help the cream rise to the top, and hopefully these young kids can start hitting, because we need the Druries, the Netos, and Adele's, and a few other players to start coming around and hitting a little bit more consistent. Moniacs, if they start to do that with Rendon the way he's been batting better, Trout looks to be getting close to becoming that player again, the all-around tool player. And then we're getting nice production from Ward if he can continue that. Ohapi as well. Again, Neto, Moniac to me are huge keys for this team, along with Drury. And if they can't get it going, we're in trouble, because you will need the offense to pick you up at times, because so far the bullpen's been impressive outside of Suarez. I don't really put too much on Estevez. He just was a tough luck loser tonight as far as blowing the save. And the same thing with Fulmer. Fulmer gave us a really good outing in Boston, gave us another good outing today. He lost it at the very end. And that's not because of the pitches. It's just because of the situation, And again, the bleeder that won the game for Tampa in the 13th inning, had the infield been playing in, that would have been the third out, but they're not going to play in because they're trying to get an out and make sure it doesn't get past them. So that was the perfect hit in that scenario. That was like a swinging bunt. So that worked for the Tampa Bay Rays. So kudos to them. They always seem to have our number. I don't want to lose our 9th straight series to this team. So hopefully the Angels can get it done today and tomorrow before we go into Cincinnati, and we can have some momentum going into Cincinnati, winning 3 out of 4. So this is a brief podcast, but Fernando got sick, so I kind of filled in for him after the post game. So with all that being said, like and subscribe. Check us out on every social media. Tell a friend. That's what really helps us moving forward. And check out our sponsors. Get that 10% off of your tickets. You can buy tickets to whatever, and it'll still count because you're using the Halos in the Infield promo code. So for ToddFox, enjoy the game today on a Wednesday, and hopefully we can get into Thursday and get that dub before we get out to Cincinnati. But one game at a time, baby. Let's go Detmers and go Angels.